Just be happy I only killed one of them. They're all assassins.
And what are you?
I'm cleaning up Gotham. More than you ever did.
You're stealing territory from Black Mask and killing anyone who gets in your way.
Black Mask is just a part of the plan.
Plan? You're becoming a crime lord.
Yes, you can't stop crime. That's what you never understood. I'm controlling it. You want to rule them by fear, but what do you do with the ones who aren't afraid? I'm doing what you won't. I'm taking them out.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while, but you'll see why at the end of this video. But today we are making the Red Hood mask from many different things. So I know that one of the eyes looks brighter than the other one. I couldn't tell you why. Maybe I got some bad LED eyes, but I can tell you in person it does not look as drastic, if you can even notice it at all in real life. So without further ado, let's get underway. So of course we have to start off with the raw prints, and of course raw prints have layer lines, which means you need to sand them smooth. If you see me do it once, you see me do it 1,000 times. But now here's the thing I want to talk about this time. As you can see, I am not using the mouse sander. I am using a palm sander, or an orbital sander. Now, this thing is magic. Not to say that the mouse sander was bad, but to say that the orbital sander is better. But there's a caveat with that. I think it's better on this helmet because it has very flat and round surfaces. If you're working with something like a Clone Trooper helmet or Darth Revan's Mandalorian helmet or anything like that, so something that has high detail, then in like a lot of sharp corners, then I would say mouse sander all the way, because it has all the mouse sander's pad has the curves and the point on the top. But with an orbital sander, you can get just broad strokes and broad, clear, straight, flat edges with the orbital sander. So for this, orbital sander was definitely a help. Definitely a great. So anyways, I started from a 120 and I worked all the way up to a 400 grit sandpaper on the sanding stage, but I only decided to film the beginning because, like I said, you see me sand once, you see me do it 1,000 times. So next up we have our good old usual Duplicolor filler primer. Now I will say before I forget that after I applied this coat of filler primer, I let it dry and then I did apply a coat of the Duplicolor sandable primer. So that's why the color will look different in the next clip, but that is the only thing I did. I don't know why I didn't film that. So next, after we have everything all sand smooth and with our primers, we're going to start applying paint. So now we start applying with the Duplicolor Metal Cast base coat. So the reason I chose the Metal Cast base coat is because it has a pearl finish to it. So I was hoping that once I applied the red tints, the Metal Cast red, that pearl glitter type texture would come through. Spoiler alert, it didn't, but obviously it didn't make the paint look any worse because it's metal on metal. And speaking of the Metal Cast red, this is the step where we apply the Metal Cast red. So now here's something you need to know about Metal Cast red, if this is your first time hearing about this. Metal Cast colors, especially the reds, the blues, anything like that, you need to apply them lightly. As you can see, I'm going light spurts, very few strokes. That is because it is basically a tinted clear coat, and if you do not apply it lightly, it will run, and you don't want that. Alright, and after this, we just simply apply the Duplicolor 1K clear coat. Nothing really to say about this. Look at that clear coat. Doesn't it look just so good? Anyways, so after everything's all dry and ready, we take a paintbrush, a very small paintbrush with a fine tip, and we apply some gloss black acrylic paint. Now, I need to stress this enough. This needs to be a gloss black acrylic, because you've already had this high gloss clear coat on the metal on the red. Then if you have like a flat or a matte black, it'll contrast. That could be good. I would like to try it one day, but for what I did here, we used a gloss black acrylic black. Alright, and now once we have everything painted, we need to get the back piece attached to the main body. So for this, I simply got some elastic bands and hot glue, and glued the elastic band onto where I need to be. I had a total of 3 elastic bands. Please make sure that you get the stretchy elastic bands, because there's some elastic bands that are not very stretchy and just use the hold shape for like cosplay or something like that. So get the stretchy elastic and you will be well on your way. And now we get to the fun part, which is the lights. Gotta install those LED eyes. Once again, I don't know if I had just gotten faulty LEDs, but in real life you cannot notice anything being more deteriorated than it is with the lights. But as you can see, I'm using duct tape to apply the eyes. That is probably not the best idea. I should have used something like hot glue or electrical tape, if anything. But I had that on hand, so that's what I decided to use. Alright, and just like that, we have our finished Red Hood helmet. A pretty simple, straightforward video, nothing really extravagant here. But I wanted to have something like this done and ready before we move on to the reason as to why why the lack of uploads been happening. So, this announcement is here. This is the reason that we've been taking so long. It is because I am starting my first suit. I'm starting my ARC Trooper cosplay. Now, just straightforward ahead, I'm not going for anybody specific, but more details will be out in the future.